This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield and his better half, Marnie Winfield.
Yo, what you doing? I was just calling to see what was up. See if you want to hang out for a bit. Alright, later.
And that was left on your voicemail, Marnie? What the?
What, man?
Nah.
Just kidding. Nah, that's Justin. He runs the meetings on our app. Mm-hmm. The AA is on Monday at 7. NA is on a Wednesday at 7. And we can add more. Someone wants to step up, do some meetings. Mm-hmm. Be the chair. I'll probably be there on Monday. Probably be a part of that meeting, the AA meeting at 7.
And you get to those meetings from the app.
From the app, yeah. You can get the app. It's free. We have an updated app. It's much better. We need to do a better job, and when I say we, I mean I guess, of uploading special content just for the app. Because I know I want to have videos and stuff on there. And sometimes I wanted to do a video, but then I'm just like, if people actually want to see my face while I'm saying it. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about stating the obvious. Like you came in the studio and you're like, you know what the studio's missing? I thought you were going to say like a woman's touch or something. And you're like, no, a fireplace TV stand.
Yeah.
And that's so obvious. You're right. It's what it's missing. You know, you got the lighting down, the cool desk. Yeah.
Well, I was kind of making fun of the fact that I knew that you wanted one.
Oh.
But I think it would be pretty cool.
It would be too.
I'm just always fearful that they're not as cool as what they look like when you're shopping for it on the intranet. They end up being like super fakey looking.
So we got to read the reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them before that look really cool in person, but those ones are probably mega super expensive.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's one of those things where if you're going to get it, you don't want it to look cheesy and cheap.
Right. We don't want it to look cheesy and cheap. And, we'll see.
But
we'll
I mean,
what the future holds for us in the studio.
As long as Amazon exists, there will always be something more that he wants for this thing, for the studio.
Yeah, another obvious thing. Normally, I drink a cold beverage or lukewarm beverage in the studio before I do the podcast. But today, I got my traveling mug, my coffee mug, and I went to take a sip right before we turned on the podcast. I faked it like I got a drink out of it, but I didn't because the lid wasn't open. It has like a little slider. It's one of those.
And I watched the whole thing happen.
Yeah, and then you just chuckled. I thought, well, let's start it off with obvious things today. But the reason I'm talking about coffee, I'll let you take over since that's your project now.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Well, we had the opportunity to go and follow up with the next step in our 217 Recovery Coffee project that's in the making. And we're going to be working with what it looks like. We'll be working with Leelanau Coffee Company. And they're actually out of Glen Arbor. And so we do have an appointment this Wednesday with one of the gentlemen from their corporate office. But in the meantime, Corey and I took a nice little trip to Glen Arbor.
Yeah.
To the coffee shop to go and get a few samples to try and do another coffee tasting tomorrow morning with my mom. Hi, Mom. Anyhow, so we get there, and it's this little tiny place, right? Not that big.
It smelled really bad.
He thinks it smelled bad. It was. No, it did not. It smelled like it was probably had to do with their roasting process. I don't know.
But they don't roast them.
Yes,
there.
they do. Yes, they do. It's like all attached.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes I smell coffee and I think it's cat pee.
Okay.
Man.
So anyway, so how it's set up is they have this whole selection of their coffees they have to offer. Like the beans, the selections are on the wall in these canisters where you can look at it and read about them and so on and so forth. And so as we're kind of browsing, apparently, and our backs are turned to the entrance, multiple people walked into the store.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
and are actually in line. Well, I turn around and I see this. He turns around and immediately goes into like freak out exit mode. Like, he's got his eyes get big, and he's like, and I was like, you want to go out to the car, don't you? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'll take care of it. Did you always not like being, you're like, there's too many people in here. I'm like, there's like 4 people in here.
If it's a situation I'm not familiar with, I don't know. I don't want to order nothing. I don't know. And I just feel stupid because I don't know the order of operations here. Nothing's really explained. They just have like those things you put cereal in, you know, those little shaker or like plastic tins, or I guess they're not tins, but you know what I'm saying, containers. Mm-hmm. And it just looked like it was in there. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. I don't know. Like, I don't know. And what if somebody else has another one up there that I want already? I don't even know. Like, it's a whole system that I wasn't fond of. I turn around, there's 80 people in this little ass coffee shop.
There was not.
Smell like cat pee a little bit. And so I'm just like, man, I'm over this. And then the kid that counter didn't know what was going on. I just want it out. I was like, I don't know. Can I order any kind of coffee? I'm confused. Can I order the cat's ass coffee over there or whatever it was called? Or do I get the chocolate turtle? I don't know. Or are these 4 coffees the only options today that I have? I don't know. And the stupid board, I don't know what half that stuff is anyway. I just want coffee and I want it to taste like candy. Thanks. Make it a large. See ya. I'll be outside. Like that's all I want. And then I got these other people behind me, and they're clearly of a different social status than I come from. So they're probably looking at me like I'm stupid and have never ordered coffee. And that's because maybe I've just never ordered coffee. Doesn't necessarily make me stupid. But
wow,
I know a lot was coming out in that little situation. So I just kind of freak out. I just like, I don't want to be in here. I want to be out of here.
Yeah, I know. I figured it out, but I just was like, you need to go to the car.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right, though.
But we ended up getting 4 different samples, and we have them with us. We actually tried one of them tonight, which was really good. And we're going to narrow it down. Mm-hmm. So one step further in the whole 217 recovery coffee process.
Cool. Then we meet with him on Wednesday. Now, we were going to meet with him in person, as I thought. And then he said, oh, no, you recovery people.
No, it's like the people of the world.
Yeah, but he wanted to do it on Zoom. Which now, after going into that place, I kind of would rather do Zoom.
You're
just kidding.
You're way too reading into it.
Taking it too far. Mm-hmm. You're going to meet with him. He's like, I don't care how much money you pay me. You said my place smell like cat pee.
Right?
Give me a... Yeah, there you go. Just kidding, bro. Just kidding. So, as far as recovery goes, I've been thinking about it, and I want to talk about excuses. Because I'm hearing a lot of excuses lately about how it's other people's fault. You know, and I know a few people in my life personally that have relapsed recently, and guess whose fault it is? It's not the alcohol's fault. It's not the drug's fault. It's someone else's fault every damn time. Mm-hmm. And I just wish... And I did it for a minute where I went through the whole, hey, it's your fault. Personally, I blamed my mom one time. We had a pact of something, and I felt she didn't follow through on her commitment, so it's her fault that I'm going to go out and drink. I'll show her. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't until I realized later that I wasn't hurting her. You know, like, I broke my word, sure, but what I was doing to my body physically and, like, my mental, I was hurting myself. Mm-hmm. You know, and I realized, wait a minute, so I'm going to punish you by eating poison? You know, no, that doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know. I mean, I can tell you what caused the relapse, you know, of my thinking and not being prepared to handle situations. Things would catch me off guard. But I stopped blaming people, I think, after the mom situation where I was like, well, you didn't follow through, so I'm drinking. And that's when my therapist at the time, Pana, said, well, did she, like, tie you down and hold you to a chair and pour alcohol down your throat? I was like, no. And then how did she make you drink? Mm-hmm. Well, because she didn't follow through. No. She didn't, like, physically, like, tie you up or anything. And he was like being serious. I was like, no. He's like, then she didn't make you drink.
Right.
You chose to drink. That was your way out of that situation, was you thought you were going to drink. And then, perfect one. You can justify it, even better. Not only were you playing with your emotions, but these emotions weren't even real. This wasn't a real thing. This was just an excuse to, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Now I can go drink and I'll teach you, Mm-hmm. That's all that was. Like I said, later it was, break up, or, this happened. I failed class, or whatever. I don't have any money. It was not dealing with situations properly. And that was my fault. Mm-hmm. And I never tried to blame those on other people, to my knowledge. But
it's a really common feeling to have after a relapse, is and where the anger really is. And this is speaking for myself first and foremost, but you can then, after the fact, you see it when it comes out in other people going through it. You can actually see it because you're like, I know what you're feeling because I did the same thing. Mm-hmm. Was you're angry with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like pissed because, we go back. It's like all this hard work that I was doing, it's just for nothing and blah, blah, blah. And we can't feel that way. And I know it's hard not to. It's easy for me to just say it like that right now. But, it's like, you're angry, and the last thing you want to do is you want to be effective as like putting it off, not on yourself. So anything else, any person around you, any circumstance that you're in, any sort of something that's offness, we blame it on our jobs. We blame it on the people at our work. We blame it on our roommates. We blame it on our parents. We blame it on the weather. We blame it on our, boredom. We blame it on our whatever it is that is our quote unquote reason. And it's never because, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, maybe all of those things or something or whatever made our brain think that it was something that we couldn't handle at the time. But that's just life. Mm-hmm. Picking up the drink is not the answer. You picking up the drink is your own decision, and it's your own relapse, and it's your own fault. It's nobody else's but your own. And you have to be smart enough and work hard enough and to deal with those circumstances, because they are out there, and it's, you can do the best you can to avoid them, by making smarter choices, not putting yourself in certain situations. We talk about that a lot. But at the end of the day is you need to make the decision for yourself that you're going to stay straight, and that's more important.
I've just been hearing a lot lately, though. I don't know how you do your job. I would. I don't know either. Not talking about your job or anything, but like, I don't know. Some of the stuff I hear from people, it's just insane, and the way that they think it's okay to blame the other people, and like maybe they justify it to themselves so much that they believe their own BS. And maybe I did too at one point until I was actually called out on it, and. No, if somebody didn't physically tie you down and hold you down and pour alcohol down your throat, then they didn't make you drink. They didn't hold you down and give you drugs, and they didn't make you do the drugs, And when you, I think, realize that at that point, and maybe these people that I've heard all this stuff from, sometimes it's just like, wow, they're that early on in their recovery, because to me they're stages, and I don't have them labeled or anything, but I just have them in my mind labeled to, he's at that stage. And when I was working at the treatment center, I would see the guys come in and be like, okay, he's, and I didn't say it to him, but it's like, man, you got kind of a long ways to go. But that's what I remember thinking. It's like, wow, I remember thinking the same way this guy's thinking. And oh my God, that was, 3 years ago. Like, this dude's got some time, he's got some struggles. He's got some hurt. He's got some pain, coming. He's not done yet, and I bet people probably thought that about me, and they were right. I had more pain, I had more struggles because I just wasn't ready, and I wasn't ready to accept it all. And I'm telling you though, don't give up. Mm-hmm. Everybody who's in long-term recovery, we've been through all them struggles before, mm-hmm. And we're proof that you can make it too. Just don't give up. You might have a slip, you might have a fall. Hey, you know what? Just get up.
Yeah, and there are going to be consequences when that happens.
Yeah.
Like, I faced them. I know sure as shit I faced them.
I got kicked out of sober living.
Oh, I got kicked out of sober living as well.
Got the boot.
I had sanctions. I had weekends, and I paid the consequences. And, every time I was like, shame on me. And, you know, it was one more thing that I had to go through. And it was a learning experience. I mean, like I said, in the people that we see and the people that we talk to on a daily basis, you know, wherever they are in their recovery journey, it's like, I respect that. You know what I mean? And I know that I know it's not easy. And me trying to explain that to people, like, man, you know, like, I'm not judging you for what's going on. You know, I completely get it. But but these are the rules. This is the way things have to roll out. It's just how it has to go. You know, we have to learn from our mistakes, and there are consequences from our decisions. And that's it. And we have to accept those and move forward. What do we do now? What are you going to do now? That's the question. That's my question to people that are, when they're faced with that situation is, okay, own it. What are you going to do about it? What's next? Is it recovery, or are you going to keep dilly-dallying with this BS, you know, that you are putting off on other people for some reason, you know? But, you know, hey, you can only, you know, reach out and try to, you know, help people along at that point so far, and the rest is up to them.
Yeah. Just accept it, man. And I don't know. I think more people in recovery listen to us than people in active addiction, but if you are struggling to put it down, you know, just cut out those excuses, cut out those other people making you do it, and just acceptance and take responsibility for it. And like Marnie said, it's not that you're a bad person. It's just you're not ready yet, and it's just you got to learn a different way to cope with those situations. And when you feel uncomfortable, that's what we know. We know to go reach for that. But you train your brain. You keep on the right path. Don't give up. Your brain can be retrained. And, you know, I don't think about going to the liquor store first anymore. You know, something's bothering me. It's, hey, I should probably get to a meeting, or, hey, I need to call my mom, or, hey, I need to, you know, do something. But it's not, oh, I need to go to the store and get a bottle of liquor, and that's really going to help me, and, oh, it's going to make me feel so much better. No, it's going to ruin my life, and it's going to make me feel like shit. And I'd rather not do that. I've wasted enough time, and I've been miserable enough where I'm done with that, you know? Like, even my baddest day, it's really good. And, yeah, I mean, there's times that are going to come where, you know, it's just going to be really hard mentally, emotionally. But I know that there's zero good that will come out if I decide to smoke a joint, to drink a beer, to do anything like that. And I just choose not to. And I will continue to, hopefully, with the help of God, I will be strong enough to do that. But today, that's the plan.
Yep.
It's been working out.
Good plan.
For almost 2.5 months, plus 2 years. And 2.5 years is what I meant to say.
I know you did.
It's not funny. Yeah, so the other day, we talked about homelessness a little bit. And man, the next day, God just delivered a package in my backseat. Holy hell. I had to take this gentleman who was high on methamphetamines. I didn't realize how high at the time of departure. And it had me feeling a little uncomfortable, a little squirrely. But I was cool, calm, because that's what I do. Anyway, the dude started talking, man, and, well, anyway, that's besides the point. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he started talking about homeless people, and then he was talking about something else that we were talking about, too, recently. And I was like, oh, my God, like, this dude's giving me so many good ideas. And I told him, I was like, look, man, you're going to be out soon. You know, hit me up when you get out, because I think he's onto something, and I will help him put together. If he wants to start a company, I'll help him put it into a nonprofit to where he can get grants and stuff. Maybe it's something we do. You know, he can lead that division of 217 recovery, you know, and I don't really want to say what it is because it's awesome. But another thing that's awesome that I will say, which I thought was a great idea, and then you were like, you're just kidding, right, honey? Okay.
I can't believe you're going to bring this up.
Hell yeah, I'm going to bring it up.
Okay.
Someone might need some fabricators out there to help a brother. Anyway, said dude who I was taking to treatment was talking about how nasty a meth house is. I've never been in a meth house. I don't know. But he was telling me that he's like, oh, you think a crack house is bad? He's like, meth house, worst thing you could ever go into. And I said, really? And we were talking about kids and how I told them I think that schools should have drug counselors in there. And whatever regular counselor. I think there should be a drug counselor in the schools too. Somebody who's in recovery. I just think that would help. But then I started thinking, I was like, you remember when they used to show us here's your brain on drugs, here's an egg? I can't relate to that. You know, when they told me marijuana was so bad and I smoked a joint and thought, I didn't have a hangover, this isn't that bad. You know, I couldn't relate egg to anything except breakfast. And you told me weed was so bad and that was supposed to be my brain on weed and it's better than alcohol, you know, to my young early days. I thought, man, this is great. Well, we need to bring it back home to the children's. Maybe if people weren't sugarcoating so much stuff when I was younger, maybe I never would have tried meth.
So what's your grand idea?
Anyway, my grand idea, this is what you're waiting for. Instead of taking kids on a school trip, we're going to take this school trip to them and bring them a trailer. Because like this Michigan State Police, I know they have a trailer that they like bust out at places and they open it up. You've probably seen it maybe at the fair if you go to those things, but they just and like find the kids drugs and they hide drugs in the kids' room and they want you to walk through this trailer and like look for the drugs and
that's your idea.
Man,
That's your idea.
No, I want to do a meth house. I mean, come on, kids. Imagine parading little second graders through there. This is what will happen if you smoke meth one time. It can. And just have people laying around and just whatever's in a meth house. I think that's a damn good idea. Stop sugarcoating it.
It's a terrible idea.
I think it's a great... Why? Okay. Why? Because you would like thought I was joking when I mentioned it to you the other day.
Because it's so terrible that I was like, yeah, he thinks one it's thing funny.
That's not funny. It's the truth.
Because
one thing.
It's just... No.
What? What?
Because it's terrible. It will, like, first off, do you know how many, like, lawsuits you'd have against that?
Why?
Because it'd be, like, wreck these children.
Yeah.
It'd be, and then there'd be way too much, like, interest. It'd be, like, all these weird kids that would be like, ooh, that looks fun.
No, no way in hell. Nobody would say it looks fun.
You never know. You can't take that chance.
Better than showing them an egg video.
Just saying. That's just too real.
No, see, I think it needs to be that way.
Then you just say, why don't you just take him to a regular one?
Well, I did say that, but then that's
was why obvious. I thought you were kidding.
No, because I said the trailer. I think it's a great idea, and it's not scaring them. It's just that's the truth. It is.
I think you're going to have some people who disagree with this
permission
idea.
Slips.
To go to the meth lab?
No, to excuse your son from going. To excuse your son or daughter, you have to return the slip. No return slip. Kids are going.
To where?
The trailer.
What to the trailer?
That we're going to build. That's why I need fabricators. We're going to build a trailer, take it to the school, and then have the kids walk through. So in case
they ever find themselves in a meth house, they know that's what it is.
And they go, I don't want to live here. They're like, look, kids, this will be your bed. Ooh. I'm telling you. Maybe you're not understanding the idea.
I don't think I am.
The state police have
No, I know. I get it. I'm saying I'm not saying how it's a good idea. That's the part I don't understand.
Because it's reality. There's no sugarcoating going on.
Kids,
we're not saying, hey, kids, this is
you can't subject children to
smoke
that.
cigarettes and don't vape, kids. We're not telling them that like the governor of Michigan does. Hey, kids, go smoke some cigarettes. Don't vape. That's what Governor Whitmer says. We're not doing that. We're saying, kids, look, this is.
Well, write a proposal. Whoa, if I could get that out. Yeah, I know. Write one of those and present it, and then we'll see. Get the PTA involved,
Yeah, we get harm reduction involved. They'd be on board. 217 Recovery, of course, is on board. Community Recovery Alliance of Petoskey may be on board. I don't know.
None of those have to do with children.
Oh, yeah, they do. Prevention. DHHS.
Getting the money for it for people that said they would get money for it, and people actually utilizing that in a school system.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. Oh, man. See, on our app, if we were doing this on our app right now, I could put a poll up and we could vote. I'll bring it up in the AA meeting.
Okay.
They're like, that's an NA question. I'm like, shut up. I'll kick somebody out of the meeting. I'm just kidding. We have fun in those meetings, though, on our app. But no, I don't know. Just if you think it's a horrible idea, you think it's a horrible idea. I think it's a pretty good one.
I just don't think it'd be realistic. So.
Oh, it'll be realistic as hell.
That's not what I meant, but yeah.
Oh. So, okay, so if I went to a school and said, hey, we got a presentation for your kids, you're going to love it. All right, let's bring it down to 5th grade then, 6th grade.
I just think there would just be too many people opposed, is all.
Like parents?
I'm not saying, yeah.
They'd be like, oh, don't take my kid there.
Right. Yeah.
Why,
exactly that.
Why would they say that?
Just because there will be, though. I'm just saying there will be. Would be. Anyway, we'll get your poll and everybody can get their input, and I'm sure everyone will join the Corey train, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I just don't think it'd be. I don't know if I would want my kid doing it.
I don't want my kid doing meth.
No, I'm just saying.
I'll take my kid through the trailer.
I'll take my time. No.
He'll be out there painting it.
Anyway.
Get your ass in there. I don't know. I think it's a great idea. It's just the whole point of stop sugarcoating it. Because the guy in the back seat was like, man, he was just like, I hate people. And
he's like, man, if my parents would have signed a permission slip for me to go and look at a pretend meth house at the county fairgrounds in a police trailer, then I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
No, he had some other excuse. But
okay.
But he did agree with, now he has children, and he's just like, man, I hope my kids never touch this stuff. And I was like, well, they will. Hopefully not, but you got to look at it like, okay, unless you are out there teaching them, don't do this, but yet, hey, dad's doing it, so it'll be tough. And I think that's where it kind of starts with the whole, this is what it really does, oh yeah, you do it one time, makes you feel good, but you know what, then you're gonna want more.
Oh, I completely agree with educating your children.
And mess a mother, man. It's
all of it.
It's like crack times a billion.
Definitely educating, but
it's horrible.
Right.
But when you're doing it, that's why when people, you see them live in these situations and they don't care. Because it jumps to the front of your brain to where it kicks everything else out. It takes over that frontal lobe where kids don't matter, housing doesn't matter, shelter, water, food, nothing matters but getting more.
Right.
And that's that's dangerous, and then you're living in squalor and you don't even care, and it's a horrible situation. And yeah, one time it can lead to all of that. Mm-hmm. And I think the more that we're upfront and honest with our kids about it, like, yeah, man, this is what it looks like. Is that where you want to end up? No.
Right.
Not one kid's going to be like, yeah, that's where I want to live.
No.
I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. You're just going to agree with me because you want this podcast to be over, but that's fine.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I'll let you know the results of that poll. And if you would like to donate for the meth trailer, we got to call it something else.
Now it's we.
Well, we can't really call it a meth trailer. I don't know. Send me some names. Corey at 217recovery.com is my email. The 217 Recovery Training. I don't know. I don't know. I got this whole paper on. I got 8-page paper I'm writing for class. And it's due in an hour. Matter of fact, I'm only on page 4.
Oh,
I know. But I've been known to bust out some, I don't want to say BS.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to have to probably pull that out. So, anyway, thanks for listening. And that's probably too much information for you that you didn't really care about. But thanks for listening to it anyway. Really do appreciate you listening. Share us with your friends. 217recovery.com is our website. The links on our help services page, which is off our resources page, is updated. 217recovery.com. Mm-hmm. All of them will be working. And if you got like what was it called again? If you had stuff that you're trying to get off your record, what's it called? The
expungement.
Yeah. There's a link to that too there. So if you want to read more about it, you got a couple of years from what I read before it becomes a thing. But get our app as well, and we usually update the app now first before anything else, and then like if you listen on iHeartRadio or YouTube, like you don't even get it for like a day later.
Yeah.
But right when I get done publishing this podcast, I'm going to send out and it goes right to people's phones saying the podcast is available. Mm-hmm. Or if we have like winning lottery ticket numbers, I'll post those out, the lotto numbers, so you can go play them before they hit. You never know.
Right?
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. Well, thanks for listening. 217recovery.com. Appreciate your love. Get the apps in the app stores for free. And we'll talk to you. No, it's a replay tomorrow.
Yeah.
Marnie's Sunday replay. Mm-hmm. We'll pick a good one.
I will.
All right. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
All right. Night.
See you.